My dear friends in Jesus Christ, it is a great joy to share a reflection with the viewers of Verbum TV on the hope. What is hope, or what is the configuration of hope? We call it hope means that a grace that is given to the will. We know that there are three theological virtues. Faith, we call it pistis. Faith means that is the light or the grace given to the intellect. We have our intelligence in our system, but we need some kind of a grace. So faith gives the light or the grace to the intellect. And hope means that is the grace given into the will. At the same time, we know agape. Hope means elpis. Charity or love means agape. Agape means the grace given into the action. That is the love given, the light given into action. So these three theological virtues are very important. At the same time, today I'm just trying to share a reflection on the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verses 46 to 52. If you have the Bible, you can open it up and just follow the things that I say. In this Gospel passage, we have a blind beggar. In Greek, we call it Hiphalos Prosaites. A desperate crying out or plead becomes a joyful proclamation. Hope is good, but at the same time, it has to be fueled with the will. Unless the will is given the grace to believe, and it is not merely an optimism, neither it is thinking that everything will be okay. No, hope is an anchor. We see this blind beggar at the beginning crying out to Jesus in a desperate situation. But at last, we see that he becomes free. At the same time, he makes a joyful proclamation of hope. So this beggar in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 10, verses 46 to 52, he sits at the exit of Jericho because it is a strategic point. And most of that is the period of Pascha, we call the Easter. Most of the pilgrims used to climb towards Jerusalem. Even Jesus, for the third time, he is climbing to Jerusalem because he had already decided and he had already taught his disciples what kind of death he is going to face. He will be handed over, then they will put him to death. They will kill, and he will be, on the third day he will rise again. But disciples were, it was very difficult for them to accept this kind of a situation. But we see they need another kind of a sight. They need another vision. They have to look at in another angle. Therefore, Jesus, in a way, by healing this blind beggar, in a way he tries to teach his disciples that they have to see in a different perspective. So he is seated on a strategic point because during the Easter he may get more money. Then his name, Evangelist Mark insists on the surname. He says Heus Timoeo Bartimeo, his name. That means son of Timaeus, Bartimaeus. In Aramaic, Bar means son. So when the evangelist insists on the surname, it means he wants to say something different, not simply the name. We don't find his name. What does it mean? Bar means son, Timeo means honor. So he is the son of honor. That means this person mainly begs the honor. This is actually a fundamental impulse that we have in our life. We all want to be glorified. We all search glory. We all wanted to be honored. So he is really the son of honor. He is blind not because of physical blind, it is also there in the gospel, he is physically blind. But other than that, what evangelist Mark wanted to say, that he is blind because he searches only the material success in this world. He is worried about the material success, as all of us. Sometimes we are worried what to eat, what to drink, and what we can gain, and how we can have the reputation, how we can make the career. So these are our sometimes worries. Our minds are occupied with this. Sometimes when we go after these things, material success or biological success, sometimes we are blind like Bartimaeus, the son of honor. So in that case, he pleads. He says, "Hu David Yesu eleison me." He said, "Son of David, have mercy on me." So in this pleading, that's a big problem. What is the problem? Not simply that he believes in Jesus, or that Jesus, son of man, huios ton anthropo, it is in Greek, but he believes in Jesus, son of David. If we take David, he is a king. So when we think of a king, we already attach some kind of idea of a glory. So he believes in Jesus, yes, correct. At the same time, he believes in a Jesus who is glorified. This is the same problem St. Peter had when we go to Mark chapter 8. And also this is the same problem the other disciples also had. If you go to Mark chapter 9, you can see the same problem is there, because people, they have a great need to search for honor, glory, reputation, career. So most of the time we want to be kissed by hands, we want to be, they expect us to worship. So these are the problems that searching the glory. So what happens when he pleads? Jesus first time does not listen, but second time here he gives heed to this person. Then he asks the people who are surrounded by him and let them know that thereby these people around him, oklos they call, they go to this blind beggar, say beautiful 3 words in Greek, that is tarsei, egeirei and phonese. That means tarsei means, he says, get up, courage, come on, start running. And the other thing they say egeirei. Egeirei is the word that has been used to explain the resurrection. That means again get up, because he needs a lot of courage. He needs to get up. He can't stand at one place. At the same time, the last word phonese means phone. The word phone comes from phonese. That means he calls. So at the beginning, this beggar, blind beggar, since he believes in the honor, human honor, glory, he was off the road. They call para en hodon. But now he has a process of healing. He was in a desperate situation. He did not have any kind of a hope. So because he only believed in a material success in life, therefore he was out of the road. He was off the road. Now he walks with Jesus. He pleads. Jesus heeds. Then Jesus says, okay, tarsei, get up. Then he says, egeirei, resurrect. At the same time, he calls. So what is his reaction? When a blind person heals, he usually adjusts his garments, he usually looks around. But this person leaves out, casting away. They call it in Greek, apobalon to himation. He leaves out his outer coat and he follows Jesus. In the Semitic culture, we call anabalon ton himation. To himation means the personality, the extension of his person, because his personality was built on searching for honor, searching for glory. Then Jesus asks, what do you want? What do you wish? Tell us. What do you wish that I do for you? He says, I want to, beautiful word, he says, ina anablepson. I must be having, he says, Jesus, please give me the new vision. Give me the sight to see from above. Because if we look at the success on a material perspective, we are blind. We can't see anything. We only see what is around us. This person, this blind beggar, what he says, I want to see from top, from above, anablepso. Ina anablepso. So remember, very important word. Sometimes we also need this healing. In order to have hope, sometimes we live in a desperate situation. Sometimes we think, because of this case, that case, because I find difficult to pardon somebody, I have this much of a problem. But Jesus says, okay, sometimes you are blind. You are blind, and sometimes your life is so desperate. So look from above, anablepso. Then he heals, and after that he goes after Jesus, following him, and he is on the road. So we see at the beginning of the gospel, this blind beggar was off the road. Parahodon. Now he is enhodon, he is on the road. So I think we have to search for glory, we have to search for honor, true, but not just begging, but as Jesus teaches, because in Greek, glory comes from the word kavud, means weight or the consistency. We can search for glory, we can search for honor, but not simply begging. At the same time, we have to search for glory that has a weight, that is consistent. Jesus says, if you want to find for glory, search for glory, one and only way to serve. You become a doulos, a slave. At the same time, you become a diakonos. So these are the ways of hope. So even in a moment of desperation, we see that Jesus transformed this blind beggar into a hopeful situation, hopeful life. So therefore, he sings glory and follows Jesus. I think we need this transformation in our life, not only bending ourselves, looking at only the material success, but also to see God in other perspective. Thank you very much. May God bless you.